All right, you had this one. This works off of your y equals ab to the x. They all do, but this is where your rate goes. This is where your initial value goes. There's no compounding here. Time. Watch your time cycle. Sometimes you have a cycle. So the time is in hours. However, it's not every hour, it's every 3 hours. So there's the x divided by 3. And again, if you can reduce this down, reduce it. Or take the log of both sides and use the product. That's the correct way to do it. Okay, but if you can reduce that down, absolutely do it. Do it that way. Remember that your exponent only belongs to the 2. So do not multiply these two things. It only belongs to the 2. Bring it down. Easiest way, get rid of your denominator. Multiply everything by 3. Then you're rid of your denominator. But remember, this is one term, this is one term. So you get rid of your denominator. Do not multiply your ln by that. And then solve for x. Again, 3 decimal places. This should match. When you look at this, this is why I said pull up your exponential ones. This has to match that answer. That's how we solve them exponentially. This is how we solve them algebraically, using your logs. Good? Okay. All right, here's another one. We had our rabbits. And when will they be 10,000? Divide it out. Reduce it. Same process. Use your log. You can use ln. You can use log. Whichever is easier. When you have base e, that's when you have to use ln. Like I said, most college books will use ln just because that's universal. Yes.
Why is x not x over 4?
Because they did every month, so your answer therefore will be in months. If they did every year, then your answer would be in years. If they said every 3 months, there's my cycle. But whatever your time is, that's what your answer is in. If you did 12, that will work. Just remember, though, to convert that back to a year. You have to use your answer.
Yeah, like I wrote years.
Right. So what was your answer in 8? What did your answer come out to be?
107.589 years.
Divided by 12. Divided by 12, and you'll get back to this.
Right.
All right. All right. So this guy, there was a half-life.
I had trouble with this.
Okay, so let's take a look at this one. This was a half-life. When will there be less than 1 gram left? So we set it equal to 1 first. We set it equal to 1 first to make life easier. And we took the log of both sides. Yeah, okay, so if you did you do it by dividing by 6.58?
No, because then it wouldn't have been a nice number.
Yeah, you can still leave it like that. If you wanted to, you could do this the whole way through. It's not really the best way to do it, but you can, as long as you leave it like this all the way through. So when you take the log of this, first of all, you've got a decimal in a denominator, which shouldn't happen, but it will work. You can bring this down. Okay, multiply everybody by 14. You got one term. So multiply and get the 14 out of here. And then, oops, I lost my x. There's my x. And divide, then, by log of 1/2. That should work. But technically, this one should probably be, if you take the log of both sides, you have a product. A product says separate it into an add. When you separate it into the add, remember this exponent only belongs to the 1/2. Don't bring it out in front of this log word. Separate them first. Bring this down. Now when you multiply by 14, you have 3 terms to multiply. This one, and this one. You don't want to factor anything out. You just want to leave it, but just watch your parentheses at the end. Yes?
For, instead of putting 1, you put like 0.999. That's what you say.
I wouldn't, because it's really like 0.999999999, so I would use 1. And I mean, we're not going to get that exact anyway, because we're rounding our days anyway. So I would just say this and then just set it greater than. We're rounding your days anyway with 3 decimals. You probably got the same answer, didn't you, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah. When it is, you're going out enough decimal places. Questions on this? At all? It probably had a lot with your calculator to go on here. If you did it this way, this numerator definitely has to be in parentheses. If you use your fraction key, it makes life a lot easier. But on the 83s, make sure that has parentheses. I would just always put parentheses around the numerator, parentheses around your denominator. And be careful because the log gives you parentheses. Oh, so that was the last one. Any questions on these guys?